Newly released surveillance video from the Uvalde school massacre shows officers standing by and failing to engage the gunman despite multiple calls for help. Now, Uvalde's mayor issued a scathing response to the footage.
The way that video was released today is one of the most chicken things I've ever seen. There was no reason for those families to have to see. All I've seen is the first little segment of 4 minutes, but there's no reason for the families to have to see that. I mean, they were going to see the video, but they didn't need to see the gunman coming in and hear the gunshots. They don't need to relive that.
So for more on this, we want to bring in CBS News correspondent Lulia Luciano. She is with me now from Uvalde, Texas. And before we show any more of the footage, of course, we want to warn viewers that it's disturbing stuff. And what the mayor was reacting to was the fact that the families thought that they would and were told that they would be able to see that video before it was made public. And the expectation was that some of the sound, a lot of the sound would be removed. Some of the sound was removed of the children, but not of the gunshots. And so I want to ask you, Lulia, have you gotten a chance to speak to some of these parents? What we saw on the video, some of it we already knew, but it's different watching the video.
That's right, Anne-Marie. I mean, I have spoken with families. I spoke with them throughout this entire week, because there was word that it was going to be either leaked or that it was going to be released. Of course, the hearing that happened this week, they decided we're going to wait. The families were waiting to hear when is it going to be released. And finally, yesterday morning, the chairman who led that committee that's investigating the shooting said this is going to happen on Sunday. We're going to give families some time to listen and watch privately, along with the results of our report of their investigation. The families at that point that I reached out to for reaction and to see if they're going to be around on Sunday, they had no idea. Several parents told me, oh, I didn't know. They haven't reached out to me before a tweet came out announcing that this was going to happen. So they've been on this waiting pattern. After the video was leaked, I did talk to some families. I spoke to a mother who told me, I am never going to watch it. I don't need to watch it. I know they failed. Then I spoke with other parents who told me, I watched it. I can't comment right now. Today is not the day, but I would like to say some things. We heard from some parents who were in D.C. A lot of the families that I've been talking to were actually in D.C. for today's march. And I also heard from family members, siblings and children and families who said it's very difficult. This is completely re-traumatizing, but it is essential, and it was for me and for others, to stand and watch that, to sit there and watch those 70+ minutes and see how police were just waiting and waiting and walking back and forth and waiting for direction and scratching their heads and wondering what was going to, it's those 70 minutes. I mean, we obviously can't play the 70 minutes, but that really stresses to you what the director of DPS called the abject failure of this response. And it was very difficult to watch and listen. And as you said, they removed the children's screams, but we heard the gunshots, and we all know exactly what was happening in that classroom when those gunshots, not exactly, but we know where those gunshots were aimed at. I also spoke with a teacher who was in a classroom within that same hallway. She was there for the first half hour, the whole time thinking that the shooter was going to come to her classroom to shoot, just waiting. Finally, they were evacuated. But she was telling me this, she can never, after watching the video, it was the same. She said, I've had a panic attack. It was so triggering. So for a lot of the families, now they're going through this, sometimes even scrolling on their Facebook, not knowing that this was going to come out. And so that's where the mayor and some families had issues that I wish this had not been released until I had the time and space to prepare and the context of the investigation.
Yeah. At one point you see sort of an officer use the hand sanitizer, and it's something so mundane, but you just think in the middle of all of that, why isn't every part of your fiber focused on how can I get these kids out? How could you think, oh, maybe I should sanitize my hands right now? So you mentioned a report. Are you talking about the state's Rapid Response Training Center report? What was the outcome of that?
I'll tell you, the report I was talking about is what shows the findings of the committee that's investigating this in the Texas legislature. The alert report, which is the report by the State Rapid Response Training Center that came out last week, that I read it over and over because it really does detail how much they failed. I'll tell you one thing that I thought was very interesting. The report says that officers are trained and they use this method called the ABCs. They're trained to, in this exact order, ABC, return accurate fire, then find, body armor, and then take cover. That is how they're supposed to respond. So when the shooter is shooting, they should have just gone right in, and their first priority should be accurate fire, return accurate fire. The way we're seeing this now in the video, it's like they reversed the order. First, they took cover. Then, so C. Then B, they waited for the body armor. They had shields for a long time. They had 4 ballistic shields. And then, more than an hour later, finally returned accurate fire. The other thing I'll say that this report has that I thought was very interesting is their priorities as to preserving life. They're supposed to be there preserving, stopping the killing and stopping the dying. That's what the report says. And the way that happens, the order, the scale of priorities of preserving life should be first victims and potential victims. So they should have gone immediately in there. Number 2, officers. Number 3, the shooter. Of course, from watching this video, you can tell that the life that seems to be being preserved, whether or not they knew that people were still alive in that classroom, is the officer's safety.
Yeah.
So all of that, along with the video, says a lot.
Yeah, it's some intense stuff, and it certainly says a lot. We'll be talking about it throughout the day. Lulia, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.